Niamh, I suppose we've seen the different tens between Carty and Sexton, but when Sexton and Murray play together, Ireland look a different side with regards to composure, with regards to not panicking. And you know, if Ireland go down 7-0, 10-0 against New Zealand, they're certainly the halfback pairing you want to try and claw your way back into the game to not hit the panic button.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Ireland can't really function without Johnny Sexton, to be honest, in terms of he's Joe Schmidt's lieutenant on the pitch. He's the one that controls everything in terms of the tempo they play, where they play, the type of game they play. And I agree with Ian in terms of Murray's lack of game management or ability or probably permission to manage games, because I don't think Johnny gives it to him. I don't think Johnny gives it to anybody at all in terms of, and that's okay because that's what he wants. That's how he thrives. That's the pressure that he wants to put on himself, which is fine for Ireland. But when you look at what New Zealand can do and how they manage in terms of Barrett plays 15 but probably stands in at 10 more than he does when he's 10 himself. And you have two receivers on either side of the ruck. It makes it incredibly difficult to defend. And basically, as a defensive line, you can't get off the line quickly then because you don't know where the ball is going. And if you don't get off the line quickly, you're soaking everything, and therefore they're gaining meters all the time, and it becomes incredibly difficult to slow down any of the momentum. So I think the back row are going to be absolutely key for this weekend.
If you're defending something like that as a defender, and you know, if they're getting the defence guessing, you're slowing down the defence's line speed, they're increasing their chances. As a defender or in that situation, how important is communication between the defending backline?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's the way that Ireland defend is it's very pressurised. They look to get off the line. It's almost like a Jacques Niamh type of thing. He set the precedent in terms of how teams should defend now. So they don't have anybody behind the ruck. They have scrum half out wide, and everyone just shoots off the line. But it's when you don't make what they call these offensive tackles, or the tackle is not met before the gain line, it creates trouble, not the next phase, but 3-4 phases down the line, because you've got a pincer in to try and stop the...
I think South Africa did that for the first kind of 10-15 minutes, and as soon as they started falling off those...
And New Zealand didn't even panic. They took some unbelievable punishment for 20 minutes and then just turned around and scored an 85-metre try. So that's what their ability for them to be able to soak it up is because from 1 to 15, they can play what's in front of them, but they have the skill level to be able to execute it, and that makes them a different ball game altogether.
Marcus, as a forward taking on the All Blacks, discipline is going to be key. This Irish side have prided themselves on their discipline. It's something that they've been very, very good at. You'll see them even at the breakdown. You know, if there's no real chance of turning over, they'll more than likely just stay out of it. How important is it that we maintain that discipline, don't get a run of penalties?
Yeah, look, I think discipline is something people bandy around. But when it comes to World Cup, it's a very difficult one. I think you have a Northern Hemisphere teams who are trying to be disciplined at a breakdown. Like, we watched the Scotland game yesterday, as much as I was delighted to see Scotland be knocked out because they didn't vote for us in the World Cup. But anyway, if I was Scottish watching that game yesterday, I would have been so frustrated. The breakdown was not refereed at all. Like, the Japanese did not roll away, and when they did, they rolled into the scrum half. So there's kind of one set of rules for Southern Hemisphere, and the Northern Hemisphere, we're trying to be as disciplined as we can at the breakdown. So for me, I think that's been a big issue at the World Cup, is how the breakdown has been refereed. So when you talk about Ireland being disciplined, we could be disciplined and lose the game because we were naive, or we didn't play the referee. And I think Southern Hemisphere teams seem to have that sorted for this World Cup, that breakdown can be an absolute mess, guys coming in from the side. So until we get a referee that actually referees it, I'd be very worried about us with regards to, okay, we're not breaking the rules, but the opposition are, and they're getting away with it. So it's how we react to that, how we can see what are the decisions this referee has been given early on in the World Cup, and can we push the envelope a small bit and maybe, I won't say cheat because you can't say that, but I think, if there's a World Cup at stake, there's a semi-final place at stake. If other teams are doing it, maybe we need to do it. And it's funny enough, Leinster are very good at doing it. They actually coach the guys to give away that cheap penalty rather than the try. So if you're rolling away from the ruck, roll into the scrum half, it buys you 2 or 3 seconds to reset your defensive line outside. So hopefully the referees, we won't be back here next week or wherever we're talking again about games that there was some controversial decision that decided it. I hope it's a clean game and we see 2 teams battle it out, you know.